and what's happened and the things that they've been able to do. It really is heartwarming to see the successes that they've had.
I think you've really made a neat difference for the world. I'm sure there's a lot of people traveling that couldn't have afforded to go without some of your advice.
Yeah, they just never think about it. They think that frequent flyer miles are too difficult, or it's too good to be true. There's all of us that play in this travel hacking game are amazed at the fact that 99% of the people that you talk to just don't get it. I did a piece this last week for ABC Nightline. They did a segment on me and the Chicago seminars that we do. And, 4 or 5 million people saw that episode, but the number of people that actually went back and looked at the website, minuscule compared to the number of looked at it. And it's there for the taking. You know as well as I do.
Do you have any idea how many miles you've managed to acquire since you started this? How many have you earned?
Well, that'd be tough over the last 11 years. It may be 10 million. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to be somewhere between 5 and 10 million.
Yeah, I mean that sounds.
2 million between my wife and I right now. We've got 2 million of unused miles and points.
I mean, just to.
We've been around the world. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say just to equate that into airline tickets for somebody, you can probably get between 2 to 4 airline tickets depending on where you're going for 100,000 miles. So a couple million miles is easily maybe 20 to 80 airline tickets.
Yeah, if you look at the domestic ticket, it's typically 25,000 miles. When we go international, long haul across the Atlantic or Pacific, we use business class. Those are 100 to 120,000 miles. The best redemptions we ever used were the One World Round the World redemptions. It was 190,000 miles in business class to fly up to 35,000 flight miles. So it's not all that expensive as far as the number of miles.
Awesome. Several times I've tried to explain kind of what you do to people and how I earn those miles, and I think the biggest thing that reaction I get from people is that they're afraid that they'll ruin their credit score. What's been your experience with this? How's your credit score doing?
Well, my credit score is excellent. I have over 100 accounts listed on my report, on my credit report. Of course, they're not all open. I closed some of them. I owned a mortgage banking company in the first half of my life, so I got a pretty good understanding of what credit is about. I did some credit counseling for the local Veterans Administration and a couple people in my hometown. Credit hit on your credit score is 2 to 5 points, pretty typically.
Okay, so it's not necessarily the end of the world. I think that it may have been on your site. Also, I found that the most, if I got this correct, the most they can drop your score for opening new accounts is 10%, and that would be if you went absolutely crazy. Is that correct?
I can't verify that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I went at one point several years ago when we had interest rate arbitrage, where we were doing zero balance transfers without any fees. My wife and I applied for like 30 cards in a day, and went from the mid 7s to mid 600s. So I wouldn't say.
You wouldn't say there's a max.
Numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't put a number on it and say 10% is a max.
Okay, but for the.
But those inquiries all fall off your report in 2 years.
Right. So it's nothing permanent. In a lot of cases, it's less than people would think. If not too many people are going to open 30 cards in one day, for sure.
No. Not at all.
And so, how do you decide which cards are worth getting for you? Do you have sort of a magic number, or?
Well, I've had so many, Justin. I'm limited sometimes. Okay, and because I've had almost all the cards. But we're in a position now where the marketplace says you can typically only get one sign-up bonus per card type. So if you get a Chase Bank issued United Airlines Visa Mileage Plus signature card, you're going to get that bonus one time. What happens is these card issuers are constantly coming out with new product. The new card replacing that one I just mentioned